Hey Brandon, I'm curious how you've what you thought of Matt Pryor as he makes his move to tackle, and what you could do to help him if he is the left tackle for opening day.
I like Matt Pryor because he's a competitor. Feel like he's gotten better since he's got here, and I think that just getting the experience of get being out there on the island by yourself, sometimes can be intimidating. But going against us every day, I feel like that's gonna prepare him, enough for game one.
Go ahead, John, and then Nick.
Hey, BG. In that vein, you've seen a lot of the young tackles, Jordan as well, and Jack Driscoll, mainly on the right side. But how do you see those guys advancing during this camp?
I think those guys, Driscoll definitely is strong. Both of them. Jordan feels like he's using his hand the best I've seen him. Both of them are doing really good. Just adjusting to what coach want, and I think that it's good competition between the two because I'm trying my best against both of them, and usually when you're thinking hard on what you're going to do, you know that you're going against some guys that's getting better. So I feel like I got a lot of respect for their games, and I got to make sure I stay on my game when I'm going against those guys.
Nick, and then Jeff.
Yeah, hi, Brandon. Have you found yourself having to do anything kind of different this year? With it being such a different off season to really get yourself ready to play, and the team for that matter. You haven't had these preseason games. You haven't had a lot of live contact in practice.
Conditioning is our biggest thing right now. Making sure after practice we getting a little extra. We giving it everything we got in practice, but it don't hurt to get a little extra in because you're not getting that adrenaline rush you normally would get in preseason. That will prepare you for that first game. So you got to make sure that you in the best shape you can because once the game comes, you get a little adrenaline flowing with the other team on the opposite side. You can overdo it sometimes if you're not ready. So I'm just trying to make sure that I get the work in after practice, especially on a day like this, padded days, and try to make this armor on us, feel like it's a part of us other than holding us down.
Jeff, and then Bo.
BG, we haven't seen Derek Barnett out in the field yet, and this is obviously another injury for him. You suffered through some injuries early in your career. How have you kept his spirits up and kind of nurtured him during this period of not being able to play and also having to deal with a series of injuries over his first several years in the NFL?
Just keep on working. That's all I keep telling them. Like one day at a time. Don't look too far ahead. You still here. Everything is going to happen when it's supposed to. You just got to make sure you stay ready for it. And so I think he's been having a great attitude towards it. He hasn't seemed like he's been down about anything as of lately. I'm just excited that he's back out there. Just when he's out there, just with us doing stuff on the field. It might not be everything, but I do know that Derek Barnett is working hard to get back, and I know he's going to be somebody who helps us this year.
Go ahead, Bo, and then Dave.
Hey Brandon, you've been with JP as long as anybody, and at the end of last year he was pretty prideful, said he still considered himself one of the best left tackles in the game. Do you think he looks at himself as a guard now?
I think so. I think he's a competitor too. I think he's working hard at the position. I think it's great, seeing him and Lane together too, especially when Brooks go down. You got another veteran over there that's good up right there next to Lane. I'm excited for what's to come for those boys. I think that JP with anybody, once you get your reps in, you get your comfort, and you kind of know what kind of tricks that you can have and pull out in your tool bag when those times come up because of all the reps that you take in the game. I mean, in practice.
Go ahead, Dave, and then Mike K.
Hey, BG, I know you were on the field for Josh Sweat's practice on Sunday, but he got a ton of pressure. What was your reaction on the field and then when you went back and watched it on tape?
Oh, I'm loving it. That boy Josh Sweat, I've been talking to him a lot too because I tell him, you got an opportunity and you got to make sure you seize it. And I think he's doing a really great job of just showing people what he's been showing the last couple of years. He's gotten better. every year. And, the confidence, you can tell this confidence is through the roof. And, somebody that I can see that's going to be here for a minute if he continue to keep on progressing like he's doing.
Go ahead,
Just
Mike,
follow-
and then Paul.
To just follow up on what Dave asked, Sweat was used in a completely different way at FSU. He's now been here 3 summers. What do you think? Why do you think the wide nine benefits him as an athlete?
Because he's an athlete. He's out there. He's athletic. He's fast. He get off the rock, and it's all about getting off the rock and going 100 miles in this defense because you can't be wrong if you're going fast. That's what we talk about. And Josh is definitely that. And so I'm excited to see what he brings to the table once the games start coming. Once we play our first game, and people gonna have a lot of different problems on the line, once we get full strength.
Brandon's got time for a few more. So Paul, Daniel, and then Zach.
Yeah, Brandon, I know Carson's on the other side of the ball and you don't spend a lot of time with him, but I'd be curious to know your thoughts on his evolution as a team leader, what you've seen from him as far as growth in that respect.
I think he's embraced it, for sure, because you definitely can see that he's speaking up a lot more. Even though he spoke up, you could just tell he's more confident because, this year he's coming off no injuries or nothing like that. He's coming in just, ready to learn. I know it's COVID that's happened, so he hasn't had many reps for, preseason and OTAs, but you could see that vocally, he's definitely somebody who's just, who's the head of the team as far as, Doug and those guys, but, as far as people playing, you could tell that he's embracing being the leader of this team.
Go ahead, Dan, and then Zach.
Hey, Brandon, we've talked to you a couple times this year about COVID and everything with it. Now that you guys have made it through training camp and are looking towards the regular season, do you feel more confident that the regular season will be able to happen? Have your views on it changed at all or anything? What's kind of your overall feeling with where things are now?
I think if we continue to keep making the right choices off the field, because, on the field, in the building, I feel safe in here because, everybody reiterates what we have to do, what we have to keep the mask on. We have to, be safe. And, they got all the precautions that we need in the building. It's just off the field, when we win in games, people want to celebrate and be with other people sometimes. And, we got to sacrifice right now. And we can't do a lot of things we normally would do just hanging out, from the casinos to the restaurants. You got to just stop. You got to go pick up your food if you're getting food out and go, no sitting in, you just got to be accountable during this time. And I think we got a good group of guys on this team that really wants this season to go. And so far, so good. And I think it's going to be really good once the season comes.
Last one. Go ahead, Zach.
Hey, Brandon, Sunday was your first time being exposed to the artificial crowd noise. What did you think of the crowd noise in the stadium? And do you think it's going to have an effect one way or the other this year?
I thought it was cool. We was talking about that when we came out for pregame. We was like, man, this feel like you got fans out here. It don't sound no different other than you just can't see anybody, obviously. But it definitely is a great start so far of feeling like, you a part of the game. It's not going to feel any different. And, I think that they're going to work on probably, the levels of like when people make big plays, if you're home, you get the crowd, hoorah. But I don't know how they're going to do that, just because I'm sure that they have to go with the different tones, have to make sure that they get the tone right when they do. So I'm excited, though, because it made me feel like I was in the game. I just didn't see the opponent yet. But I know when I see the opposite team, that's all I'm gonna really be focused on anyway, because those are the guys that we gotta go out there and put on the show for when we out there.
Did you miss the booze?
You know what? I hope they don't put that in there, but that's cool though. Sometimes we know we got to get our stuff together when things going bad, but that's just a little more motivation depending on how you're looking at it. But that's motivation for us. I hate that the fans won't be a part of it, but I do know. If we at home, you're going to hear it outside the stadium. I feel like that's what's going to happen. You're going to hear people outside the stadium anyway, because that's just how loyal and how, crazy the fans are in this town.
Good. We've kind of seen your progression over the last couple of weeks. Has it felt more natural to you? I mean, have you kind of caught up to the game speed pretty quickly?
Yeah, I feel like I'm adjusting to the game speed pretty well. And then just knowing the plays, not like still like learning them, but actually knowing what I got has helped me a lot.
We'll go Ed and then Les. Ed, you're muted.
I'm sorry. Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hey, hi, John. Just wanted to, Jalen Rager got hurt. Does that change what you do any at this point? Have you been given more on your plate since he went out?
I just come to practice with the mindset to give my all every day, so that don't change nothing that I do now.
What do you see your role as at this point, if I could just follow up?
I don't know. It's up to the coaches.
We'll go Les and then Martin.
Hey, John. Does it feel real that that first NFL game is coming up now in less than 2 weeks? And do you feel, like you said you know the offense, if you have to play a bigger role than you had before Jalen Reagor went down, are you ready for that? Are you good at more than one spot in the offense, or are you mainly limited to that one spot?
Yeah, with the game coming up, it's kind of different with the different offseason and everything as far as that. But, yeah, I feel like wherever they put me in, I'm going to go out there and do my thing.
Let's go Martin and then Rube.
Hey, John. I was wondering, you've, made a lot of really good red zone, sideline jump ball catches and everything. I know when you were drafted, speed was kind of talked about as being a big part of your game, but do you feel like you can do other things? I mean, be a complete receiver and everything?
Yeah, I definitely feel like I could be a complete receiver. Everybody was talking about my speed, but I feel like I definitely have other assets to my game.
We'll go Rube and then Jeff McLean.
Hey, John, I was wondering what the experience was like being in the Link on Sunday. Did that kind of make the season seem a little more real, being in an NFL stadium and getting that work, even though there were no fans in there?
Yeah, it definitely made it feel more real going in there with the mindset of today is a game. So we went through pregame festivities and stuff like that. So yeah, it definitely felt real. Other than no fans being in the stadium, but it felt good to get out there and play on the field.
We'll go Jeff and then Zach.
John, Jalen Reagor was telling us how in his conversations with Carson Wentz while watching film, Carson would mention certain receivers that it reminded him of, or certain receivers that maybe he should watch that had similarities to him and how he ran routes, etc. Did Carson, in your conversations with you, have relate any players to you, and what were those conversations like?
Nah, me and Carson never talked about me watching film on other receivers, but he just told me, keep doing what I'm doing, just keep studying the plays, making sure I'm in the right spot at the right time, and making sure that the timing is perfect.
Let's go Zach and then Bob Groats.
Hey, John, I know I'm a week ahead here, but I don't know if I'm going to get the chance to talk to you next week. You're from Landover, Maryland. How far away from the stadium did you grow up? How big a part of your youth was FedEx Field? And what's it like in your head knowing your NFL debut is going to be coming in your hometown?
So I probably live 2 minutes from FedEx Field, so it'll probably take me 7 minutes to walk. And then it was a great feeling figuring out that the first game was at the Redskins Stadium, or the Washington Football Team Stadium. And then just, hoping that all my family and everybody could be there.
If I could follow up, growing up, was that a stadium you went to as a fan or played in at all?
I never played in there, but I went to a couple games.
Go Bob and then Daniel.
Hey, John, we mentioned the crowd, the scrimmage. What did the crowd noise, the fake crowd noise, what was that like in playing in front of it? Was it realistic to you? And
if you were to close your eyes and just listen to the noise, then you would think it's fans in the stadium. But being out there and seeing that there's no fans, then you just in the back of your head that it's fake. But I guess it was pretty cool to have a crowd noise so that it just wasn't complete silence.
And do you have a favorite moment, a game at FedEx Field from your youth going there and watching it? Is there a favorite moment that really strikes you or comes to mind?
No favorite moment.
I tried. Thanks.
Let's go Daniel and then Bo.
Hey, John, from these past 2 weeks or so of practices, is there one play that you made or one moment that really stands out as kind of something where you felt you'd almost not necessarily arrived at the NFL, but you made a play and it felt I guess kind of real?
No one play specifically. I feel like every time I go out there, it feel real.
Go ahead, Bo.
To follow up on the Landover stuff, John, is your family, did they grow up Washington fans? And, I would assume if that's the case, you've converted them.
Yeah, so everybody in my household was Redskins fans. I wasn't a Redskins fan growing up, though, so that didn't have no effect on me. But, yeah, now they all Eagles fans.
Who was the biggest Washington fan?
You said who was the biggest?
Yeah.
I'll probably say my grandfather.
Your grandfather? But
Yeah.
he's converted?
Yeah, he's an Eagles fan now.
Thank you.
Hey, Boston, good to see you. Was just curious, you guys got to be in Lincoln Financial Field, a new environment, no fans, piped in noise. What did you think about it?
I thought it was a unique experience, but at the end of the day, we all fed off of each other as far as energy, juice. I think that's something that's, infectious about this organization, from the coaching staff down to the players. It starts with Coach Dougie P. He makes sure that the standard is set and all the juice and all the energy follows that. We have a bunch of guys that love football, and you see it on a day-to-day basis. So not much really changed for us.
Rube and then Paul Domowitch.
Hey, Boston. I think it was a year ago yesterday, Eagles had final cuts, and you got cut. And I'm just curious what that day was like for you, and having gone through that, and then being on the practice squad, coming back on the 53 and getting a chance to play. What your message would be to any of the younger guys who get cut this year, with your story in mind.
Yeah, man. Being cut first with New Orleans and then with the Eagles, man, I would just say control what you can control. You know what I mean? Don't bank. You don't set your value based on whether you make the team or not. You know what I'm saying? Like focus in on the opportunities that you do get from that point on. You know what I mean? Like because your mindset from that point on can definitely determine your what direction you go in after that. You can look at it as nobody believes in me, maybe I'm not cut out for this, or, you can continue to work and just hope that an opportunity comes. You know what I'm saying? Deuce actually talked to me about, the type of mindset to have in general. You know what I'm saying? You want to be prepared for the opportunity and it not come, rather than not being prepared for the opportunity and it comes and you're not ready for it and then you mess it up. So really it's just, the mindset that I've had since college when I walked on, man, just, I don't know if the opportunities are coming. I'm just going to make the most of them whenever they do come. So you just put your head down and work.
Well, Damo and then Martin Frank.
Boston, Deuce was talking about you a while back, and he said a key for you last season was understanding the run game, knowing when to be slow and knowing when to be fast. How does that learning process work for a running back?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think fundamentally, there's a lot of things that definitely help you out. And Deuce has done a great job, in individual during practice, making sure that we get our steps down. We do run timing with the quarterbacks, and I think that it's all about, staying square, and that opens up your vision where you're able to see, a lot. And so, and also it comes down to understanding the run scheme, who's going where, what double teams are going where, whatever it may be. And so it's just a better understanding of, run schemes that allows you to, not think as much and just know where it's supposed to hit, and then use your God-given talent from that point.
Thanks.
We'll go Martin and then Ed.
Hey, Boston. Kind of piggybacking off Ruben's question. So you've never, began a season on the 53-man roster. What's what's this feeling going to be like? I mean, I know you don't want to count your chickens until they hatch, but I mean, chances are you're going to be on the roster and everything. So what's opening day going to be like for you?
I think it's important, just to do what I've been doing, man. Just to take it one step at a time, one play at a time. Not letting the moment be too big, not letting the moment be too small. But just staying present. Being thankful and appreciative that I'm there, and now saying I got to make something of it. So I'll just be focused on staying in the present.
We'll go Ed and then Dave.
Well, just to follow up on that, Boston, is there more of an excitement level? More of a comfortable feeling? You must be excited. Really, your first opening day.
Absolutely, man, and having the opportunity to be in the system for a couple of years, I definitely have gotten a lot more comfortable. And man, any opportunity to step out on that field, and live out my dream and do the things that I've always wanted to do is truly a blessing, man. So the excitement is at an all-time high, but it's controlled chaos. You know what I mean? So I definitely don't want to get too hyped up and burn out on opening day. So I'm just taking it and just building up.
Thanks.
We have time for a couple more, so we'll go Dave, Bo, and then Zach.
Hey, Boston, how fast is Adrian Killens, and how does he rate among the guys you've played with?
He'll open up, man. He's definitely got his body mechanics, man. You could tell he's a sprinter. He ran a lot of track, but man, when he opens up, man, the dude can fly. He can fly, man. As far as I don't know, you know what I mean? Because we got some speedsters on this team, but dude can fly. Dude can really fly.
Hey, Boston, I was just curious if you paid any attention to what Jeffrey Lurie said the other day in talking about systemic racism and what you thought of his comments.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very thankful for Mr. Lurie. He's in my opinion, he's always been a guy that's got it. And I appreciate his stance and standing with us regardless. I know there's a lot of tension in the world right now, but I think the best thing for this organization and the best thing for us is to stay united in whatever message we decide to put out there. So that's what we're gonna do, and I'm just thankful for Mr. Lurie and the support that he's shown.
Hey, Boston, as someone who was on practice squads for the past 2 years, what do you think of the expanded practice squads of 16? How do you think that's going to help players? And what do you think it's going to look like in practice with those expanded practice squads?
Yeah, man, I think it's a great opportunity, man. At times, it's funny because last year with the scout team and everything, I would play, obviously running back, receiver, but your boy had to play some safety, some corner, you know what I mean? So having more bodies, I think, will definitely allow the guys to continue to work on their craft. And man, it's a great opportunity, because you get to play against the starters. You know what I'm saying? So, that's where I was able to build on my game. And the coaches are always watching. So you never know what coaches might see. You know what I'm saying? If you're making plays every day, then you enter the discussion of how can we get this guy on the field. And so, it's all about your mindset. And taking it personally and showing it out on the field every day.